One line just said hammers and nails. Another line said urine and feces. So it was pretty much a search warrant for everything. I mean, there's virtually nothing that you would have in a house that wasn't under some category there.
Who was in the house? Just those three?
Those three plus about 10 other people who were staying there, you know, some from out of town.
Can you recount what happened? You've talked to somebody that was there?
I've talked to somebody, talked to the neighbor who was there, and talked to some people who were in the house. The cops entered the house forcefully, ordered everybody to get down on the ground.
How many cops and where were they from?
There were, it was described as being a lot of them. Ramsey County Sheriff's was the lead organization, and they say there were Minneapolis cops, which I saw there, and apparently there were a lot of St. Paul cops there at the same time. There may have been other jurisdictions, but I don't know. The fire department also came. I didn't see people labeled FBI, but I don't know. Minneapolis Fire Department was there, their hazardous materials unit. Minneapolis had a red car there that said like emergency preparedness. Yeah, I didn't get there till about half an hour or 45 minutes afterwards, and at that time my daughter and the other two people were in a black SUV to be taken away, and they drove away, you know, 10-15 minutes later.
I'm sorry, what time did you get there?
I'd say it was about 8:45.
And what was the scene like, aside from seeing your daughter?
Yeah, well, I didn't see her because all the windows blacked out, so I waved at the van.
Hoping she saw you.
Hoping she knew I was there. Yes.
That's right.
Yes. There were a number of people outside. At that time, they were still taking people out of the house one by one. You know, the people were, you know, handcuffed on the floor, and then one by one, they were asked for their ID, and they were photographed, and they were, you know, patted down, they searched, and some of their belongings were searched. Most of their belongings are still in the house.
Were these mostly local people?
I think there was some local and some from out of town, and I couldn't tell you how many of these. You know, she had 1 or 2 or 3 people living with her, and, you know, then there were some other people being housed.
So go nourish your body.
So,
right? Go do the work.
Have you seen the warrant?
Yes, I did see the warrant.
Do you have a copy of it?
Unfortunately, I don't. It listed, you know, the address. It listed there my daughter's 2 cars that she owns, and both of those cars were searched there. I saw them going through her one car very thoroughly, several times. Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And it listed the 3 names of the people there on the warrant. However, it was not an arrest warrant. It was only a search warrant. So they were taken away on probable cause rather than on an arrest warrant.
What's the probable cause on the warrant?
Conspiracy to commit riot. I think it's called. It's the same charge that the Chicago 8 were charged with. Yes. It has a long history, in other words. Except even there, they waited until the police actually rioted before they charged anyone with conspiracy. There hasn't been anything yet here, so
right.
It's very preemptive.
What white items were listed on the warrant?
They listed. It started off with Molotov cocktails, assembled or not, bomb-making materials, you know, those kind of things. It continued on to maps and charts, any notes, computers, all electronic equipment, you know, of any sort, electronic media such as CDs and recordings or anything like that that, you know, might be from the computer or whatever. Just construction materials that listed. One line just said hammers and nails. Another line said urine and feces. So it was pretty much a search warrant for everything. I mean, there's virtually nothing that you would have in a house that wasn't under some category there.
Did they list any drugs?
They did not list drugs, no. I suspect that would be the urine and feces things, but there's no indication that they're alleging drugs or anything like that.
So they confiscated all of this?
I believe they are. At the time I was there originally, you know, they were just getting the people out of the house and they were searching the house. But when I came back just shortly before this, it would have been right about 11:30, they had a Minneapolis police stake truck in the alley, and they were loading up things from the garage. The garage is full of a stake truck, you know, a wood, you know, yeah. And they were at that point loading up things from the garage, plus some things they were taking out of the house. They had all the cans of paint from the garage, each carefully labeled. A whole stack of old tires, including some tires from like a 30s model Ford V8. So, you know, they had bought the house just a month ago. There's a lot of things in the house, and especially in the garage, that aren't even theirs, you know, left over. So, you know, there was a bolt cutters there, you know, such as a person might have. There was, you know, just a whole lot of stuff in the garage. So they were loading this up. They had already loaded up a couple of like foam pads that somebody might sleep on or put under a sleeping bag. You know, really dangerous stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think prompted the police to target your daughter's house? How did she end up on the radar?
They know that she has been involved with the RNC Welcoming Committee.
Does she have a prior arrest history?
No, she does not.
What
Other
does
than
she do?
juvenile, which I guess you wouldn't put down and I wouldn't tell you.
Right.
Yes.
Well, that's probably
she has, but she has no other prior arrest record at all. However, she's, you know, been involved in, you know, causes.
Right.
For a long time. Yes.
As have you.
As have I. Some people say there's a relationship there.
Right. What does she do for a living?
At this point, she is a student going to Goddard College, which is a college in Vermont that does, you know, you go there for a week and then it does online after that.
Okay. Any increased activities around her house or anything like that in the last couple of weeks?
She called me just last night, and among other things, we discussed housing and all that stuff. She said that police cars were rolling by her house slowly. A number of police cars, and I don't know if it was one or more or the same one going around the block, but the big, you know, black SUVs with the blacked out windows that they use for like command vehicles. You know, whenever you see those, you know something awful's coming down. And apparently they were making it clear that they wanted her to know that they knew that she was there. You know, so. Yeah, so, but, you know, we felt that it was probably just intimidation at this point. But it was clearly for intimidation that they were coming by. So I believe she said that they were taking pictures out the windows, you know. So, yeah. So there was, you know, that premonition.
And they think she's going to be held until Tuesday?
It would be Wednesday at noon if it's a 36-hour hold, because the Minneapolis police can put people on a 36-hour hold for probable cause, and unfortunately, the time doesn't start until it's a business day. And since they got people early on a Saturday morning and Labor Day, so we can presume that they probably won't get out until noon on Wednesday unless there's some action to get them out or some way to do it. I believe within 48 hours after she's taken, they have to bring her before a judge. But that may be just
and this is on the charge of
a conspiracy to commit a riot.
Right,
yes.